Hello Gunners, welcome back to Arsenal Daily Talk, your number one destination for the latest Arsenal transfer news, breaking updates, match analysis and everything happening at the Emirates. If you love Arsenal as much as we do, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications and let's dive straight into today's massive Arsenal news. Come on you Gunners! Something is happening behind closed doors at Arsenal, and if the latest reports are accurate, the next few days could completely change the club's transfer window. There is growing speculation that Arsenal are quietly working on one of their biggest attacking plans under Mikel Arteta. While everyone has been focused on the obvious transfer targets, new reports suggest the Gunners are continuing discussions over players who could transform the squad. But here's where things become even more interesting. One name refuses to disappear from the headlines: Morgan Rogers. Every day, more reports suggest Arsenal remain serious admirers of the Aston Villa star. Despite Villa's determination to keep him, Arsenal are believed to see Rodgers as one of the most exciting young attacking players in English football. And Gunners, this isn't just about signing another winger. Arteta reportedly wants players who can play multiple positions, dominate one-on-one situations, press aggressively, and provide goals and assists. Morgan Rogers fits that profile perfectly. At just 23 years old, Rogers has developed into one of the Premier League's most complete attacking talents. His pace, strength, dribbling, creativity and finishing have caught the attention of several elite clubs. But Arsenal aren't alone. Behind the scenes, the race is becoming increasingly competitive, and that's exactly why this story is developing so quickly. Now here's the biggest twist. Reports suggest Arsenal are becoming more optimistic that a deal could become possible later in the transfer window. Aston Villa are still determined to keep Rodgers, but football transfers can change rapidly if the right offer arrives or circumstances shift. That is why many Arsenal supporters believe sporting director Andrea Berta is staying patient rather than rushing negotiations. Sometimes the biggest deals happen quietly before exploding into the headlines. And Gunners, there may be another reason Arsenal are moving carefully, because another sensational name has suddenly entered the conversation. Reports across Europe claim that a Real Madrid superstar's future is becoming increasingly uncertain. The Spanish giants are reportedly assessing their long-term plans, and several Premier League clubs, including Arsenal, have been linked with monitoring the situation. Imagine that for a moment. Morgan Rogers, a world-class Real Madrid attacker. Could Arsenal really be preparing something extraordinary? At this stage, it's important to stress that these are transfer reports and speculation. Nothing has been officially confirmed by Arsenal or the clubs involved. However, when multiple reliable outlets begin discussing similar stories, supporters naturally start asking questions. Is Andrea Berta quietly preparing another major surprise? Has Arteta already identified the final pieces needed to challenge for both the Premier League and Champions League? Or is this simply the beginning of one of the biggest transfer sagas of the summer? One thing is certain. The atmosphere around Arsenal's transfer business has changed dramatically over the past few days. And what we'll reveal next about Morgan Rogers could leave many Arsenal fans genuinely excited. So stay with us, because in part 2 we'll break down why Arsenal believe Morgan Rogers could become one of the most important signings of the Arteta era, and why reports suggest the Gunners may be edging closer to making their move. Before we continue, if you're excited about Arsenal's transfer plans, smash that like button, subscribe to Arsenal Daily Talk, and let us know in the comments. Would you rather Arsenal sign Morgan Rogers, or should they go all out for a Galacticos signing from Real Madrid? Welcome back, Gunners. Now let's focus on the player who is dominating Arsenal's transfer discussions, Morgan Rogers. If you've been following Arsenal over the last few weeks, you'll have noticed one thing. The links to Morgan Rogers just won't go away. While many transfer rumours appear for a day or two before disappearing, Rogers continues to be mentioned whenever Arsenal's attacking plans are discussed. That has led many supporters to believe there is genuine admiration for the Aston Villa star. So why are Arsenal so interested? The answer is simple. Morgan Rogers offers something every top manager wants: a player who can change a game in multiple ways. He is quick, physically strong, confident in one-on-one situations, and comfortable playing on either wing, as an attacking midfielder or even in a more central role. That versatility makes him an ideal fit for Mikel Arteta's tactical system. Imagine an Arsenal attack featuring Bukayo Saka on one side, Morgan Rogers on the other, and creative players linking everything together. It would give Arsenal more pace, power, and unpredictability against teams that defend deep. Another reason Rodgers is attracting attention is his mentality. He has shown he can handle the pressure of Premier League football and continues to improve every season. Arsenal have often targeted young players with high ceilings, rather than established stars approaching the end of their peak years, and Rodgers fits that recruitment model. But signing him won't be easy. Aston Villa reportedly have no desire to lose one of their most valuable players. They know Rodgers is a key part of their project, and they are expected to demand a huge transfer fee if any club wants to test their resolve. That means Arsenal would likely have to make one of the biggest offers in the club's history if they decide to push seriously for the deal. Despite that challenge, reports continue to suggest Arsenal remain interested and are monitoring the situation closely. And here's where things become even more intriguing. Some insiders believe Arsenal are waiting for the right moment before making their decisive move. Transfer negotiations often happen quietly behind the scenes. Clubs speak to agents, assess financial conditions, and evaluate whether a deal is realistic before submitting a formal bid. If that's the strategy Arsenal are using, fans may not hear much until suddenly everything accelerates. We've seen this happen before. A transfer can appear quiet for weeks, then within a few days negotiations intensify and an agreement is reached. Could Morgan Rogers be the next example? No one outside the clubs knows for certain. At this stage, there has been no official confirmation that a deal is close. But the persistence of the rumours has kept supporters watching every update. And just when everyone thought Arsenal's biggest attacking story was Morgan Rogers, another sensational rumour emerged from Spain. Reports claim a Real Madrid superstar could become available if the Spanish giants decide to reshape their squad. Arsenal have been mentioned alongside other Premier League clubs as one of the teams monitoring the situation. If that report has any truth behind it, Andrea Berta and Mikel Arteta could soon face a huge decision. Do Arsenal invest everything in the younger Premier League proven Morgan Rogers? Or do they explore the possibility of landing one of the biggest names in world football? That decision could define Arsenal's entire transfer window. In Part 3, we'll reveal the explosive reports surrounding the Real Madrid star, why Arsenal have been linked, and whether this could be the blockbuster move that changes everything at the Emirates. If you're enjoying this update, don't forget to subscribe to Arsenal Daily Talk, leave a like, and tell us in the comments. Should Arsenal go all in for Morgan Rogers, or would you rather see the club sign a Galactico if the opportunity arises? Welcome back, Gunners. This is where the story takes a dramatic turn. Just when Arsenal supporters believed the club's main focus was Morgan Rogers, a fresh wave of reports from Spain has added another fascinating layer to this transfer window. According to recent reports, Real Madrid are evaluating the future of one of their biggest attacking stars, with suggestions that the club could consider a sale if the right offer arrives before the player's market value begins to decline. The reported valuation? More than £130 million. That figure immediately rules out most clubs in Europe, but not necessarily the Premier League's biggest spenders. Reports claim Arsenal, Chelsea and Liverpool are among the clubs monitoring the situation, with Chelsea even being linked with the possibility of an enormous bid. Liverpool have also been mentioned as they continue planning for the future of their attack. But what about Arsenal? This is where fans are asking the biggest question of all. Could Mikel Arteta really convince the Arsenal board to pursue one of the world's biggest attacking names while also trying to sign Morgan Rogers? On paper, it sounds almost impossible. Two massive transfers in the same window would require an extraordinary financial commitment. Arsenal would need to balance transfer fees, wages, financial fair play rules, and potential player sales. However, football has shown us time and again that unexpected deals can happen. When a world-class player becomes available, elite clubs always pay attention, even if only to assess whether a deal is realistic. That doesn't mean Arsenal are preparing an official bid. At this stage, there is no official confirmation that Arsenal have made an offer or entered advanced negotiations. The reports indicate interest and monitoring rather than a deal being close. Even so, the rumours have sparked huge debate among supporters. Some fans believe Arsenal should invest everything in a younger Premier League proven player like Morgan Rogers, who could contribute for many years. Others argue that if a genuine world-class superstar from Real Madrid became available, Arsenal should at least explore the opportunity, even if it meant changing their transfer plans. Now imagine this scenario. Andrea Berta is working quietly behind the scenes. Negotiations over Morgan Rogers continue. At the same time, Arsenal are keeping a close eye on developments in Madrid. If circumstances suddenly change, perhaps because of player availability or shifting market conditions, Arsenal could be ready to act. That is exactly why this transfer window feels so unpredictable. Every day brings new reports. Every hour creates fresh speculation. And until Arsenal officially complete their business, no one outside the club knows exactly what Arteta and Berta are planning. One thing is certain, the Gunners are determined to build a squad capable of winning the Premier League and competing for the UEFA Champions League. Whether that ambition leads to Morgan Rogers, a blockbuster Real Madrid signing, or another surprise entirely remains to be seen. Coming up in Part 4, we'll analyse which transfer would benefit Arsenal the most, how both players could fit into Arteta's system, and give our final verdict on what could become the biggest Arsenal transfer story of the summer. Before we continue, subscribe to Arsenal Daily Talk if you don't want to miss any Arsenal transfer updates. And tell us below, if Arsenal had the budget for only one signing, who would you choose? Morgan Rogers or the Real Madrid superstar? Welcome back, Gunners. We've reached the final part, and this is where everything comes together. After looking at all the reports, one question remains. What is Arsenal's real plan? If we connect the latest rumours, a clear picture begins to emerge. Mikel Arteta isn't looking to make signings just for the sake of adding big names. His goal is to build a squad that can finally bring the Premier League title back to the Emirates while also challenging seriously for the UEFA Champions League. That means every transfer has to fit both tactically and financially. He knows the Premier League, he's still developing, he's versatile, and he matches the profile Arsenal have targeted in recent transfer windows. If Arsenal can reach an agreement with Aston Villa, Rogers could become one of the most exciting additions to Arteta's squad. Will Andrea Berta secure Morgan Rogers? Will another Premier League club make the first move? Could Real Madrid's plans suddenly create an opportunity nobody expected? Or will Arsenal surprise everyone with a completely different signing? At this moment, no official deal has been announced, and supporters should treat all transfer stories with caution until reliable confirmations arrive. However, one thing is becoming increasingly clear. Arsenal are not standing still. The club is actively searching for players who can take this team to another level, and the ambition inside the Emirates appears stronger than ever. If Morgan Rogers eventually wears the famous red and white shirt, many fans will believe Arsenal have signed one of England's brightest attacking talents. If an even bigger surprise happens, the entire football world will be watching North London. So Gunners, keep your notifications on because this transfer window is moving fast, and we'll be here to bring you every major update as soon as it breaks. If you enjoyed today's transfer special, please smash the like button, subscribe to Arsenal Daily Talk, and turn on notifications so you never miss breaking Arsenal news. Now it's your turn. Do you think Morgan Rogers should be Arsenal's #1 target? Or should the club try to sign a world-class superstar if the opportunity arises? Let us know in the comments. We read every single one. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and, as always, come on you Gunners!